In recent years, a lot more people have been using windlass tip-ups, tip-downs, and things like that for crappies. It is a highly effective way of picking up extra fish. Just a little bit of movement on the bait, especially with the wind tip-ups. A lot of times these crappies will just kind of come through casually, and when they see those minnows hanging under the wind tip-up or the tip-down, they'll grab a hold of it. They're light biters. With the wind tip-ups or the tip-downs, they don't feel any resistance. They can pull off. You can go over there and just gently set the hook and bring them in. It's a good way to locate fish kind of outside the area that you're jigging. And it just gives you more lines in the water, which of course increases your chances of success. So I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to set up a couple of these wind tip-ups. I like the wind tip-ups just because if we do get a little bit of breeze, of course, the action of the rocker arm does help to actually jig the bait, which will help attract fish. And I'm just using a 20-pound braided Dacron line and using a barrel swivel. I got that tied to some 6-pound test monofilament for a leader. Split shot, of course, and a small treble hook. That'll help me get that bait down. And anytime you're using the wind tip-ups, it's always important to get that frame kind of slid back into the slush a little bit. That's something that'll help hold the unit in place. So if a big fish does hit, and it'll happen sometimes even with these smaller crappie minnows that we're using, or you catch a pike or a bass or a little bigger fish, of course you want to make sure that the frame is secure on the ice. Another thing you do today, like today, there's not a lot of wind, is I can bend the flaps here on this wind flap a little bit. That'll help to catch just a little bit more wind, give me a little bit more jigging action. And I've got the arm angled upward to help catch a little more wind too, as opposed to more parallel to the ice. And we're just using a fathead minnow, which I'm going to hook right up here just behind the dorsal. That's a number 10 treble hook. Whoops. Well, we'll start that one again. Number 10 treble hook. Again, just hooking them behind the dorsal fin there. Nice lively minnows, which is a good thing. I always like that. Line's coming off of the spool here on the top. Okay, and again, that's so that when I set the flag and a fish bites, the flag trips. I can't have it come off the bottom of the spool. It has to come off the top of the spool. And we're about 11 feet of water. I don't want to be too close to the bottom here, but I'm just going to get that down. A lot of times the crappies will come through suspended. And we'll set the flag on there. Hopefully, we get just a little bit of breeze that can catch that arm and help to jig that minnow a little bit. Now, if a crappie does hit this, it's just going to drop that rocker arm down. And of course, as he takes line off the spool, the flag's going to pop. I'll know that I've got a fish on here. I'll come over and get him on the tip-up. I might have that set just a little too high there. Gotta get the adjustment just right. And as the day wears on, if the wind increases, or if it starts to get gusty or changes direction, then of course I'm going to have to move that tip up and set it at a different angle. But for right now, it's pretty calm out here. We're not going to get a whole lot of motion. But we're supposed to get 5 to 10 mile-an-hour winds today, kind of just light and variable. Just those few gusts just to jig the bait once in a while is very helpful, as opposed to just a standard stationary tip-up.